हरि ओम तत्सत् श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां
आरम्भां
व्यासशङ्करमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let us read those verses from the beginning, the fourth dashakam. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते गुरुपवनपुरेशाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो भगवते कृष्णाय। ॐ ॐ हरि ओम। चतुर्थं दशकं। कल्यतां मम कुरुष्व तावतीं कल्यते भवदुपासनं यया स्पष्टमष्टविद्धयोगचर्यया पुष्टया श्रुतव तुष्टिमाप्नुयाम्। ब्रह्मचर्य दृढतादिभर्यमैराप्लवादिनियमैश्च पाविताः कुर्महे दृढममि सुखासनं पङ्कजाद्यमपि वा भवत्पराः तारमन्तरनुचिन्त्य सन्ततं प्राणवायुमभियम्य निर्मलाः इन्द्रियाणि विषयादथापहृत्य आस्महे भवदुपासनोन्मुखाः अस्फुटे वपुषिते प्रयत्नतो धारये मधिषणा मुहुर्मुहुः तेन भक्तिरसमन्तरार्द्रताम् उद्वहेम भवदङ्घ्रिचिन्तकाः विस्फुटावयवभेदसुन्दरम् त्वद्वपुः सुचिरशीलनावशात् आश्रमं मनसि चिन्तयामहे ध्यानयोगनिरतास्त्वदाश्रयाः ध्यायतां सकलमूर्तिमीदृशीम् उन्मिषन्मधुरताहृतात्मनाम् सान्द्रमोदरसरूपमान्तरम् ब्रह्मरूपमयितेव भासते तत्समास्वदनरूपिणीं स्थितिं त्वत्समाधिमयि विश्वनायक आश्रिता पुनरतः परिच्युतौ आरभे महि च धारणादिकम्. Let me give you a brief note before I move on to all these verses. See, in this Chaturtham Dashakam, I want to tell you one thing. In Srimad Bhagavatam, first three skandams, the contents of first three skandams, Bhagavan Bhattacharya presents in the first three verses. So fourth chapter onwards, Bhattacharya presents the contents of the second skanda. This I wanted to tell you. So first three dashakams, if you have studied thoroughly, then you have got the essence of the Prathama Skandam, first Skandam of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the fourth chapter onwards, on the fourth dashakam onwards, Bhattacharya presents the contents of the second Skandaha, Dvitiya Skandaha. So the first topic that is discussed in Dvitiya Skandam of Srimad Bhagavatam is Ashtanga Yoga. Therefore, he presents it in his fourth dashakam. And here, Ashtanga Yoga, of course, you know, it's a vast science, explaining every discipline in detail, like Yamaha, Niyamaha, Asanam, Pranayamaha, Pratyaharaha, Dharanam, Dhyanam, Samadhi. These are the 8 limbs. All these 8 limbs come under the topic of Yoga Abhyasaha. There's also Yoga Darshanam. There's also philosophy known as Yoga Darshanam. That Yoga Darshanam, it is not discussed here. So Patanjali Rishi has 2 aspects, 2 factors. One is Yoga Darshanam and Yoga Abhyasaha. So here, Yoga Darshanam part is not taken into account. Even Vedanta Shastra, in Vedantins do not accept Veda Darshanam, but they only accept Yoga Abhyasaha. Because Yoga Abhyasaha are disciplines. Because they're when practiced, they contribute for disciplining the mind and also to keep the body and everything, all the instruments in fit condition. It's very useful for a spiritual aspirant who wants to accomplish the ultimate end. Therefore, Yoga Abhyasaha alone is accepted in the Vedanta Shastram, not Yoga Darshanam. So Yoga Abhyasaha, 8-fold limbs. That is why Bhattacharya mentions these 8-fold limbs here as it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. But here it is very briefly he mentions. So what he says, let me tell you quickly. In the first verse he says, Gvarapa, you please bless me with a good health so that I will be able to practice these 8-fold limbs. And by practicing the 8-fold limbs also, I can earn your grace. This is the content of the first verse. Okay. First verse, if you ask what is there in the first verse, he prays for good health. And if I am blessed with the good health, then I will be able to practice these 8-fold limbs of yoga. Thereby, again, I can earn your grace by living a disciplined life. That is one thing. He made it very, very clear in the first verse. Which means he also makes it one thing, fact here, clear, that living a disciplined life, see, practicing these disciplines is for living a disciplined life, for us to become disciplined. And if we are disciplined means there's one of the forms of worship. Even being a disciplined person, living a disciplined life also for a spiritual aspirant, living a disciplined life itself is a form of worship. Once it is a worship, then you can tap Bhagavan's grace. Then that is the one of the ways. Therefore, he says, I earn your grace. How? By living a disciplined life, by practicing these 8-fold limbs, by becoming disciplined. But even for me to become more disciplined, to practice these disciplines, I need good health. Therefore, he first prayed for physical good health to be a good disciplined person, thereby to earn Bhagavan's grace. This is the content of the first verse. Then, the second verse, he discusses 3 disciplines, Yamaha, Niyamaha, and Asanam. The 3 disciplines are discussed in the second verse. Then, in the third verse, he explains pranayama, I mean, he just very briefly he mentions about pranayama and pratyahara. The third verse he discusses only pranayama and pratyahara. Then in the third verse he mentions about dharana and dhyanam. Okay, he mentions dharana and dhyanam in the fourth verse. Now, in the fifth verse he says that he will continue to be in meditation. In the fourth verse, he mentioned about dharana and dhyana. Now you know which verse has which discipline. So the fifth verse, Visputa Vayava Bheda Sundaram Twadvapussuchira Sheelanavashat Ashramam Manasi Chintayamahe Dhyana Yoga Niratastvadashraya. So in the fifth verse, he says that, having said what is dhyanam in the previous verse, he says here that we will be practicing this dhyanam, meditation upon the form which has all the limbs. So we'll be practicing meditation upon Saguna Rupam without any strain, that he says in the fifth verse. We have seen up to the sixth verse. Dhyayatam sakalamurtimidrushim Dhyayatam sakalamurtimidrushim Unmishan madhurata hritatmanam Sandhramodarasa rupamantaram Brahma rupamaiteva bhasate. This also I mentioned, discussed in last class. Let me tell you what it is here. So here in the sixth verse, he talks about the samadhi. Samadhi means he says samadhi happens. What is samadhi? What is samadhi according to a spiritual aspirant? It is not samadhi according to a spiritual aspirant is not just a state of experience. See, in Yoga Shastram, samadhi means a state of mind, which is again a state of experience, which is subject to come and go. Okay, that is samadhi. But here, for a spiritual aspirant, samadhi is as a result of constantly practicing meditation upon Bhagavan's Rupam, Saguna Rupam. In due course of time, one will have the contemplative disposition of the mind. Thereafter, that should culminate finally in what? In the vision of, in attaining the vision of even Bhagavan's Nirguna Swarupam. Definitely that must be followed by what? Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam. So this Saguna Dhyanam, Saguna Upasanam, which is practiced for a length of time, helps a Saguna Upasaka, who is a spiritual aspirant, ultimately to become contemplative upon Bhagavan's Nirguna Swarupam. So that contemplation, meditating Bhagavan's Nirguna Swarupam is contemplation, isn't it? So what is contemplation? Meditating upon Bhagavan's Nirguna Swarupam is contemplation. And for a spiritual aspirant who is given to the pursuit of the study of the scripture, or who is given to the discipline of listening to the unfoldment of the Upanishads, for such a person, if he was also practicing Saguna Upasanam, it's very easy for him to become contemplative because of his meditative disposition of the mind. So meditative disposition of the mind one cannot have easily, for which a person must have lived a very disciplined, clean life. So all these practices, practicing Yamaha, Niyamaha, Asanam, Pranayamaha, Pratyaharaha, especially Saguna Brahma Upasanam. So Saguna Dhyanam. So Saguna Dhyanam is what is said to be Dhyanam here. And that meditation, by constantly practicing, it blesses a person with the meditative disposition of the mind. With that meditative disposition, then a person being given to the discipline of Shravanam and Mananam, it will be easy for him to be contemplative. Then as a result of contemplation, he will have the clear vision of Bhagavan Swarupam. That's what is said here. So in this, samadhi is actually nothing but having the clear vision of Bhagavan's essential nature being revealed to oneself. That is what is mentioned in this 6th verse. Let us see here. Dhyayatam sakalamurtimidrushim unmishan madhurata hritatmanam sandhramodarasaroopamantaram brahmaroopamayiteva bhasate. So Guruvarappa, te brahmarupam ayi deva. I told you already, this expression ayi is an expression of endearment. It's used in addressing somebody. So ayi means oh Lord. Ayi also means oh mother. Like oh father. Ayi can be used in any context addressing a person. Respectful at the same time, expression of endearment also. Ayi, oh Lord, Deva, Brahmarupam te avabhasate. Varpa, your essential nature, your Swarupam, Brahmarupam, your Swarupam of limitless happiness, avabhasate, becomes revealed. Okay, your Swarupam becomes revealed. Your Swarupam shines. Avabhasate means shines. Te Brahmarupam avabhasate. What is Brahmarupam? Sandra Moda Rasa Rupam. Sandra Moda Rasa Rupam. Your essential nature, implied by the term Brahman or in terms of Brahman, shines and for us limitless happiness. A revelation in your limitless happiness. For whom does it becomes revealed? For whom does it shine? It is said, Hrita Atmanam, Madhurata Hrita Atmanam. Those who are attracted towards the joy of meditating upon your form. Dhyayatam Sakalamurtim Idrushim. Idrushim Sakalamurtim Dhyayatam. For those people who are meditating upon your Sakalamurti Sagunarupam, thereby Unmishan Madhurata Hritatmanam, who are also attracted towards the delightfulness in meditating upon such form. In due course of time, Guruvarappa, your essential nature of even limitless happiness also in terms of Brahman avabhasate, that shines for them. This is what is said to be samadhi. Please understand, this samadhi, according to in Yoga Shastram, samadhi has a different meaning. Samadhi is a state of mind, a state of experience. That samadhi is not discussed here. Here samadhi mentioned is what? Having the vision of Bhagavan's Swarupam. Bhagavan's Swarupam being revealed to one's own self, obtaining as one's own Swarupam. Isn't it? Bhagavan's Swarupam, obtaining as one's own Swarupam, being revealed to oneself is said to be samadhi. Looked upon samadhi in the Vedanta context. It happens. But why? Because this samadhi, this vision does not go. Samadhi experience will come and go. In Yoga Shastram, in Saguna Upasanam, if a person is given to the discipline of practicing Saguna Upasanam, definitely it will, in due course of time, there'll be samadhi anubhava. Samadhi is anubhava there. Anubhava means experience. What happens to experience? Experience is a state of mind. So state of mind, experience itself is what? It has a beginning, it will have an end also. So it will be there for some time, it will go. It will not be permanent. So samadhi experience is different. Here we are talking about the jnanam. So samadhi anubhava is different from the clear vision. So Bhattacharya, for what happens for a Vedanta student or what happens to a spiritual aspirant who is given to the discipline of meditation, ultimately awaiting or expecting, ultimately wanting to attain Bhagavan Swarupa Jnana. For that person, Bhagavan Swarupam becomes revealed to him. That is what is said to be Samadhi Anubhava here, not Anubhava here. Okay, Samadhi happens. So, of course, we understand the difference. What is Dharanam and what is Dhyanam and what is Samadhi? Let me tell you very quickly here. So, we know the sense organs are always extroverted. So, bringing the sense organs from there, turning the attention to the respective objects and bringing the sense organs back to oneself, we say there's a different discipline. But first you have to have this sense organs disciplined, then you bring the attention of the mind also. So attention of the mind is scattered all over. So this attention of the mind which is scattered all over, bringing it back to the object of focus and placing that is called pratyahara, bringing the attention of the mind, bringing back to the object of meditation. First of all, bringing the attention of the mind to the object of meditation is pratyahara. So having brought the attention of the mind to the object of meditation, then placing the attention of the mind in object of meditation is dharanam. So pratyahara is bringing the attention, placing the attention of the mind in an object of meditation is dharanam. After having placed the mind, what happens? The mind will go again and again. It is not easy. So when the mind goes, bringing the attention back to the object of mind again and again, repeatedly, is called meditation. So meditation itself is not a success. Meditation is only punah punaha manasaha adhanam, bringing the attention of the mind again and again and again back to this object of meditation is the meditation. Once you bring the attention of the mind repeatedly back to the object of meditation, so in due course of time, what happens? It will be possible for you to remain focused. When the attention remains without any distraction, then you don't need to make effort to bring the attention. Suppose a person sits in meditation, attention does not get distracted. Attention stays in the object of meditation. And that, if attention remains, that itself is called samadhi. Then being able to, when a person is able to remain in object of meditation for length of time, then gradually everything else resolves. Only the object of meditation alone will remain. It's called, we say, samadhi. And everything should resolve. What else? For in a samadhi, the person is just with the only object of meditation. It is savikalpa samadhi. Even his own, he forgets about his own self also, only the object alone remains. It is nirvikalpa samadhi also. But that is not the goal for a spiritual aspirant. For spiritual aspirant, of course, we have ultimately Bhagavan's essential nature should become revealed. And Bhagavan's essential nature is one's own essential nature. There are two different things. So one's own Swarupam becomes revealed for a person, and one's own, what is that Bhagavan Swarupam which becomes revealed happens to be one's own Swarupam. One cannot lose sight of it. It does not go. And it has to become assimilated for a person to remain, to get to revel in it for always. That is later on comes. So here what he says in this verse, this is what we have to differentiate how any spiritual aspirant whose actual interest is in only having Bhagavan Swarupam revealed to him, for him Ashtanga Yoga is a big blessing, because the Ashtanga Yoga practice alone, yoga abhyasa alone is accepted by a spiritual aspirant. He does not need to worry about yoga darshanam. That is why only Ashtanga Yoga Abhyasa alone is discussed here, not yoga darshanam. Okay, let me go to the next verse. So, dhyayatam sakalamurtim idrushim dhyayatam. For those people who are meditating upon this your Saguna Rupam, Guruvarappa, unmission madhurata hritatmanam, as a result of which they become attracted towards the delightfulness they have in meditating upon your form. Then for such people, in due course of time, your absolute limitless happiness, your essential nature, implied by the term Brahman, also becomes revealed. It shines for them, which is the content of the sixth verse. So in the sixth verse, he mentions about the Samadhi. So what is Samadhi for a spiritual aspirant? What is mentioned here as Samadhi is not the Samadhi what is Samadhi for a yoga person in Yoga Shastra. Then Tatsamaswadana Rupinim Sthitim Tvatsamadhimai Vishwanayaka Tatsamaswadana Rupinim Sthitim Tvatsamadhimai Vishwanayaka Ashrita Punaratah Parichyuta Varabhe Mahicha Dharanadikam Tatsamaswadana Rupinim Sthitim Tvatsamadhimai Vishwanayaka Tatsamaswadana Rupinim Sthitim Tvatsamadhimai Vishwanayaka Ashrita Punaratah Parichyuta Varabhe Mahicha Dharanadikam. So here Bhattadaji says, Guruvarappa, Vishwanayaka, we have to make a note that how Bhattadaji addresses Bhagavan in every verse. That's also very important. Hey Vishwanayaka, O Lord of the entire universe, Guruvarappa, Ayi, Tat Samaswadana Rupinim Sthitim, Tat Sam Aswadana Rupini Sthitihi. Aswadana Rupini Sthitihi means what? That having that joy of reveling in the vision of Bhagavan Swarupam. That joy of reveling in the vision of Bhagavan Swarupam is Aswadanam. Aswadanam means reveling. Literally means tasting. Literally it means relishing, tasting, Aswadanam. Okay, Aswadanam, relishing, tasting. But here reveling in the vision of Bhagavan's Swarupam. Aswadana Rupinim Sthitim. So when we have that joy of reveling in your vision of your Swarupam, that sthiti, when you have the state of reveling in the vision of your Swarupam, some Aswadana Rupinim Sthitim, Tvat Samadhim Ayi Vishwanayaka. So what is Samadhi? He made very clear again in this verse. Samadhim. What is Samadhi? Having the joy of reveling in the vision of Bhagavan's Swarupam. That state of having the joy of reveling in the vision of Bhagavan's Swarupam is Samadhi. Tvat Samadhim Ayi Vishwanayaka. So that is what is said with Samadhi. What is Samadhi? Being in the state of reveling in the vision of your Swarupam, Samadhim. Then what happens? Ashritaha, when we have that state of joy of reveling in the vision of your Swarupam, Guruvarappa, Ashritaha, having attained that state, punaha, again, ataha parichyutau. See, because the mind has one problem, isn't it? Parichyutau. See, for a person who has this mission, parichyutau means when slips away. Parichyutihi. Chutihi is a nice word. Chutihi means, please, chutihi means slipping. That's why Bhagavan is called Achyutaha. I always tell this. Achyutai, Bhagavan is called Achyuta, one who does not slip away. See, water can never slip away from the wave. So that which does not slip away is what? Achyuta. The truth which does not slip away. You can never, one thing which does not slip away at all from you is your own Swarupam. You are real Achyuta, really speaking. See, mind, attention can go and come. What cannot go and come is your Swarupam, you yourself. Everything changes. That which does not change at all forever is what? Achyuta. So here, Chuta is a participle. Chutihi is a noun. Chuta, participle. Chutihi is a noun. So parichyutihi also means the same. So whenever the attention slips away, whenever there is a slipping away of the attention happens, Gvarapa, this is what is your samadhi. What is samadhi? So having the state of reveling in the vision of your Swarupam is samadhi. When we ashritaha, having attained that state, then from that state, punaha parichyutau, when the attention has the slipping, when the slipping away of the attention takes place. What does it mean? Whenever attention slip away from that state of reveling in the vision of your Swarupam, ashritaha, having attained that state, we people who have attained that state of reveling in the vision of your Swarupam, samadhi, punaha parichyutau. When the attention slips away from that revelation, when attention slips away from reveling the vision of your Swarupam, what do? Arabhe mahicha dharanadikam. Again, we start all this practice of all the disciplines such as dharanam. We start from dharanam, dhyanam. Again, we try to come back to samadhi. Okay. Dharana adikam arabhemahi. Gvarpa, we shall again start practicing the disciplines such as dharanam, dhyanam, to come back to the samadhi, to remain, to have, not to miss this revelation of the vision of your fullness. So what he means to say is, even after the attainment of jnanam, it is possible for one to forget that. He talks about nididhyasana again. Why one has to practice continuously? Because the fact has to become assimilated. So Shravanam blesses a person with the knowledge. Then Manam helps a person resolve the doubts. But even then, one has to assimilate and ascertain this vision of Bhagavan Swarupam. It should become unforgettable. We should not slip away from our understanding. So the vision of Bhagavan Swarupam, obtaining as one's own Swarupam, one's own self, must become ascertained, for which one needs to repeatedly dwell upon that Swarupam. That is called constantly, continuously dwelling upon Bhagavan Swarupam, which becomes revealed to us, is important to assimilate and ascertain that Swarupam. So what he says, we have this state of reveling in the vision of your essential nature of limitless happiness or fullness. But what happens when we, having attained that state also, the mind is, because of this old samskara, old habits, it is possible for the mind to slip away from that state of reveling in the vision of your. essential nature of fullness or limitlessness. So whenever mind goes, attention slips away from that state of reveling in the vision of your Swarupam, having reached there, Ashritaha Punaha Parichutau Gurvarappa Arabhemahicha Dharanadikam. We again begin to practice those disciplines such as Dharanam, Dhyanam, etc. in order to be in the state of reveling in the vision of fullness constantly. Again, we practice that. That's what he says in the 7th verse. Is it clear? 7th verse is clear now? Okay. Ittamabhyasana nirbharo lasat. Ittamabhyasana nirbharo lasat. Tvatparatma sukha kalpitotsavaha. A long compound, we should not break it here. Ittamabhyasana nirbharo lasat. Tvatparatma sukha kalpitotsavaha. Ittamabhyasana nirbharo lasat. Tvatparatma sukha kalpitotsavaha. Mukta bhakta kula maulitangataha. Sancharema sukha naradadivat. Ittamabhyasana nirbharo lasat. Tvatparatma sukha kalpitotsavaha. Ittamabhyasana nirbharo lasat. Tvatparatma sukha kalpitotsavaha. You can recite after me second time. When I say first time, you can listen. Ittamabhyasana nirbharo lasat. Tvatparatma sukha kalpitotsavaha. Ittamabhyasana nirbharo lasat. Tvatparatma sukha kalpitotsavaha. Mukta bhakta kula maulitangataha. Mukta bhakta kula maulitangataha. Sancharema shuka naradadivat. Mukta bhakta kula maulitangataha. Sancharema shuka naradadivat. Mukta bhakta kula maulitangataha. Sancharema shuka naradadivat. Okay. Here what does Bhattacharya say? Itham, in this manner, Gurvarappa, abhyasana nirbhara ullasat. Tvat paratma sukha kalpita utsavaha. Itham, abhyasana nirbhara ullasat. Tvat paratma sukha kalpita utsavaha. Ittam abhyasanam. Abhyasanam again means practice. Ittam, in this manner, abhyasana means practicing all these disciplines. As a spiritual aspirant, having our total focus on Bhagavan, Bhattacharya already said many times, Tvat paraha, Tvat ashrayaha. So having Bhagavan as the ultimate goal, having attainment of moksha as the ultimate goal, having jnanam as the ultimate goal, having vision of Bhagavan Swarupam as the ultimate goal. When a person is given to this practice of this Ashtanga Yoga, eightfold disciplines, then itham, in this manner, abhyasanam, abhyasanena, by being given to this or practice of this discipline such as dharanam, dhyanam, samadhi, etc. Repeatedly, for that one word abhyasanam, I have to say this. What is the meaning I should give here for that word abhyasanam? Itham, in this manner, being given to the discipline of practicing all these eightfold limbs such as dharanam, dhyanam, samadhi, etc. What happens in due course of time? A repeated practice, nirbhara ullasat, tvat paratma, ullasat, shining, Paratma Sukha Kalpita Utsavaha. Means we have then again the clear ascertained vision of your Swarupam happens. Nirbhara Ullasa Paratma Sukha. Thereby what happens? We become Kalpita Utsavaha. We have that joy of reveling in the ascertained vision of your Swarupam of fullness. Evam Abhyasanana, in practicing in this manner, all these disciplines such as Dharanam, Dhyanam, Samadhi, etc., in due course of time, we have Kalpita Utsavaham, we become those who have the joy of reveling in the vision of your Swarupam. Again, thereby what happens? Once we have the clear ascertained vision of reveling in the Swarupam happens, once we have the joy of reveling in the vision of your ascertained Swarupam happens, what is the next step? Mukta Bhakta Kula Maulitang Gataha. Maulitam Gataha, having attained the status of being exalted among the devotees. Maulita means having the status of being the exalted. Mauli literally means crown or diadem. Maulita is a noun. Please make a note. The word Maulihi means crown or diadem. So Maulitam, Maulita is a noun. Having the status of being the exalted is called Maulita, noun. Maulitam Gataha, having attained the status of being the exalted. Exalt among whom? Of whom? Mukta Bhakta Kula. Mukta, liberated, Bhakta, devotees. Gurvarappa, having attained the status of being the most exalted among your liberated devotees. Mukta Bhakta Kula Maulitam Gataha, having attained that exalted state of most exalted status, having attained the status of being the exalted among your devotees who are liberated, then Sancharema, we shall, Sancharema is a ling verb, but still you should take it in the sense of future tense. We can take it as a future tense verb. Sancharema means we shall wander freely like the great sages such as Shuka and Narada. Shuka Narada Adivatu. Sancharema. So then we shall wander freely without any bondage, without any afflictions, like the great sages such as Shuka, Narada, etc. Adi, etc. Vat, like. Shuka, Narada, Adivat, like the great sages such as Shuka, Narada, etc. Sancharema, we shall move freely in this world without any afflictions as Jivan Muktas, like those great sages. How? Having attained the status of being exalted among all your devotees. To have the status of being exalted among all the devotees, what do we need? We must be reveling in the vision of clear, ascertained vision of Bhagavan Swarupam. How can we have that ascertained, clear vision of Bhagavan Swarupam? By repeatedly practicing this discipline. Ittam abhyasanena. By being given to this, all these disciplines constantly, by practicing those disciplines repeatedly for length of time, as a result of which we will have that status again, that we have the state of reveling in the vision of fullness, your Swarupam, ascertained vision of your Swarupam of fullness. Thereby, we will attain the status of being the most exalted among all your devotees. Thereafter, thereby what happens? We shall move in the world be happily without any bondage as Jivan Muktas, like great sages like Shuka and Narada, etc. Is it clear? The order is very beautiful, isn't it? You see the order, how the order is presented. Okay, next. Tvatsamadhi tu yaf punar mangshu moksharasika kramena va. Tvatsamadhi tu yaf punar mangshu moksharasika kramena va. Yogavashyamanilam षडाश्रयैरुन्नयत्यजसुषुम्नयाशनैः त्वत्समाधिविजयेतु यः पुनर्मंशु मोक्षरसिकः क्रमेण वा योगवश्यमनिलं 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 षडाश्रयैरुन्नयत्यजसुषुम्नयाशनैः. Okay. See, now Bhattadaji wants to mention about, see, the Saguna Upasanam can do two things. From Saguna Upasanam, a person can move on to Nirguna Brahma Upasanam. What is Nirguna Brahma Upasanam? Meditating upon Bhagavan's Swarupam, obtaining as our own Swarupam, is Nirguna Brahma Upasanam. So meditating upon Bhagavan's essential nature, obtaining as our own essence Swarupam, is contemplation, Nirguna Brahma Upasanam, Nididhyasanam. So they are all synonyms. Nirguna Brahma Upasanam, Nididhyasanam, contemplation, all mean the same. But in order to meditate upon one's own Swarupam, Bhagavan's Swarupam, obtaining as one's own Swarupam, one must have what? One must have the knowledge of one's Swarupam. That is why Shravanam and Mananam are now Shravanam is very important. So Shravanam alone will bless a person with the clear vision of Bhagavan's Swarupam, obtaining as one's own Swarupam. And that Shravanam is possible, one can have Jnanam. So the Saguna Brahma Upasanam will help a person grasp the teaching also very so quickly during the Shravanam. And having grasped the teaching also clearly during Shravanam, the person can also contemplate upon that Swarupam because he has that contemplative disposition because of the discipline of practicing this Saguna Brahma Upasanam, isn't it? So for such a person, in due course of time, he will have the clear ascertained vision of Bhagavan's Swarupam, which itself is Jivan Muktihi. He's already mentioned about the Jivan Mukti. In the previous verse, which we completed just now, there he says, a person who practices Saguna Brahma Upasanam and who's also given to the discipline of Shravanam, in due course of time, will be able to dwell upon Bhagavan's Swarupam, obtaining as one's own Swarupam. Thereby he can have ascertained vision of that Swarupam. And having a state of reveling in the Bhagavan's Swarupam in terms of nature of fullness is what? Jivan Muktihi. See, without losing sight of Bhagavan's Swarupam, obtaining as one's own Swarupam, always remaining steadfast in the vision of Bhagavan's Swarupam happens for a person who is given to this practice of contemplation. And the contemplation is possible because of his contemplative disposition, mental disposition. That was possible because of the Saguna Brahma Upasana. That's what he developed. That's how Bhattacharya said. Okay, that's fine. For him, he attends Jivan Mukti. Now he talks about Saguna Brahma Upasaka only. He does not talk about the Nirguna Brahma Upasaka. In this verse following, which were just now I read it, there he only talks about the Saguna Brahma Upasaka. So the person who practices meditation upon Bhagavan's Saguna Rupam, what happens in due course of time? This person does not move on to Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Okay? He continues to be in Saguna Brahma Upasanam, but he does not dwell upon Bhagavan's Swarupam. There's no contemplation. What happens to a Saguna Brahma Upasakaha who does not move on to Nirguna Brahma Upasanam, who does not move on to Nididhyasanam? What happens? Even Saguna Brahma Upasakaha who does not move on to Nirguna Brahma Upasanam also does not become a failure. He has a choice of attaining Kramamuktihi. So for Nirguna Brahma Upasakaha, he attains Sadhyo Muktihi. Mankshu Mokshaha. Mankshu Mokshaha means Sadhyo Muktihi. The person attains Sadhyo Muktihi. Sadhyo Muktihi means from moksha attained immediately in this life here itself. Jivan Muktihi, attaining freedom, discovering freedom while living this life here itself, in this life itself, is what Jivan Muktihi. That is otherwise said to be Sadhyo Muktihi. Sadhyo Muktihi in Bhattacharya's word is what? Mankshu Mokshaha. Isn't it? Mankshu Mokshaha. A person can attain Mankshu Mokshaha. Otherwise, if a person is Kramena Va, otherwise a person also can attain Moksha Kramena, sequentially. What is Kramena? Kramamuktihi. Kramena also, sequentially also, person can attain moksha. A person can attain Kramamuktihi also. So Saguna Brahma Upasakaha, who is not given to the discipline of Nirguna Brahma Upasanam, who does not dwell upon Bhagavan's Swarupam, obtaining as one's own Swarupam, who stops with only Saguna Brahma Upasanam, what happens for him? That is said in this verse. A Saguna Brahma Upasakaha has the choice of going to higher loka. There he can attain Kramamuktihi. See what Shastram says alone, Bhattacharya says. That is why Vaidikaha, once you are given to the study of Vedic way of life, how Veda Shastram teaches. Once you understand that, then no Vaidika can say something which is different from what Veda does not say. Only has to say what Veda Shastram says. So Bhattacharya also says exactly what he says here. Twat Samadhi Vijaye Dwarapa. When a person becomes successful in having this Samadhi experience of what? Yes, in Saguna Brahma Upasanam. Samadhi Vijaye. What is Samadhi Vijaya? If a person is able to retain his attention for a length of time without any distraction in Bhagavan's Rupam, he is meditating. Okay? Samadhi means what? If a person is capable of retaining his attention in that object of meditation without any distraction, without slipping away from the object of focus, he is successful in his Samadhi. If a attention slips away from that, then he is not successful in Samadhi. So Samadhi happens. If a person practices Dharanam, then Dhyanam, constant continuous practice of Dhyanam for a length of time, repeatedly bring the attention back to the object again and again and again. When a person really works very hard for a long time, then in due course of time, after a long time of practice of constant effort, definitely attention remains without any distraction. It's called samadhi. So Bhattacharya says, and that samadhi, it should be also what? Only the object of focus remains, for him everything else disappears. Such a nirvikalpa samadhi happens. Tvat samadhi vijaye, Guruvarappa, in constantly meditating upon your saguna rupam, when a person becomes successful, that he is able to remain in samadhi for length of time. Tvat samadhi vijaye. When a person becomes successful in remaining in samadhi, as a result of practicing meditation upon your saguna rupam, yaha punaha mankshu moksha rasikaha. Such a person, whether he mankshu moksha rasikaha means the person who is interested in sadhyo muktihi. Mankshu moksha is another word for sadhyo muktihi. Va or kramena. Kramena stands for kramamuktihi. That such a person who is successful in having this samadhi, who is successful in his samadhi experience of being able to remain in the form continuously, for such a person who is interested in sadhyomukti or kramamukti, what should he do? If a person is interested in sadhyomukti, then he must move on to, he must use this mental meditative disposition to dwell upon the Bhagavan's Swarupam, which is contemplation. Thereby he can attain sadhyomukti. Otherwise, or Kramena moksha rasikaha means who is interested in attaining kramamukti is Kramena moksha rasikaha. Mankshu moksha rasikaha means the one who is interested in sadhyomukti. So the person who is successful in his samadhi, attaining samadhi state, mental condition of samadhi, he can move on to Nirguna Brahma Upasanam to attain sadhyomukti, or if he is interested in kramamukti, yoga vashyam anilam. So person who practices seriously Saguna Brahma Upasanam will be blessed with this strength. What is that? He will be blessed with that power. What is the power? Yoga vashyam anilam. So he will be able to control his breath. It is not possible for anybody to do that. Only if a person has that tremendous strength and power, a person can earn only by practicing the samadhi for length of time. So as a result of practicing this meditation and samadhi, remaining samadhi for length of time, the person gets this power, and with the strength, with the power, yoga vashyam anilam, because of the power he has earned as a result of practicing samadhi, he is able to control his breath, pranavayam. Yoga vashyam anilam. Anilaha here means pranavayu, his own breath. Yoga vashyam anilam. So having restrained or having mastery over his breath, because of the power he has earned as a result of practicing yoga, this meditation. Then shadashrayehi. Shad ashrayaha means the 6 chakras. Shadashrayaha. Shadashrayehi, through the 6 chakras, unnayati. He lifts his own prana through these 6 chakras, unnayati, sushumnaya, then through the sushumna nadi, shanehi, slowly. So what Bhattacharya says, see, the person who is interested in attaining kramamukti must be able to lift his breath through sushumna nadi, through his 6 chakras. So like a story for us. It is not at all practical for us. Okay, just to understand what it is. Because we are not given to the practice of 6 chakras and all those things. And then Shastram does not recommend also. It's only what is said, it is was practical for only yogis, not for grihasthas, not for other ashramis. But we need to understand what it is. So, what Bhattadi makes it very clear, if a person is given to the very, very serious discipline of practice of Saguna Brahma Upasanam or Saguna Upasanam, that practice of Saguna Upasanam definitely will bless a person with some powers. And with the power, with that power a person has earned by practicing this meditation, he will be able to lift his breath through the 6 chakras and Sushumna Nadi also. He'll be able to lift it. Okay, that's what he says. Sushumnaya Shanaihi, gradually, slowly, by lifting his prana, because he has mass control over the prana. Suppose you and I want to lift our prana. What do we have? We do not have any control over our prana. We cannot bring the prana together. We cannot lift it outside, isn't it? In fact, prana here means in the sukshma. He brings the whole sukshma together and through Sushumna Nadi, lifting his up through all 6 chakras, Shadashrayehi, Sushumnaya, Shanaihi, Unnayati. He lifts it upwards. Then what happens? Let us see next verse. Is it clear what are the contents of that verse? Shadashrayehi, Sushumnaya. Shadashrayehi, Sushumnaya, Yoga Vashyam Anilam. Anilaha here means the breath. Yoga Vashyam Anilam. So, having had mastery over his own prana, then lifting it up through Sushumna and his 6 chakras, then what happens? He takes it upwards. Lingadehamapi santyajannatho liyate tvai pare niragraha. Lingadehamapi santyajannatho liyate tvai pare niragraha. Then finally he goes to the higher loka. There what happens? Lingadeham api santyajanna. See, until he goes to higher loka, he has what? Lingadeham, Sukshma Shariram. Then Lingadeham api santyajanna. Okay. Then he goes to higher lokas, there he attains the Kramamukti, it is said. But now again, Bhattadi says here, if you want to know all those 6 chakras, I can mention just the names. See, from our vertebra, if we take, it is said, it is something non-dissectable, non-locatable. These 6 chakras are mentioned in the Yoga Shastra. And there are 6. It seems there's one nadi which goes through this our vertebra, and that nadi is not something a nerve. It is not a nerve which is available for dissection, isn't it? It's not available for dissection or anything. There is one very inexplicably subtlest nadi going through this vertebra, and that's called Sushumna Nadi also, they say. And in that Sushumna Nadi, we have the 6 chakras: Mooladharam, Swadhishtanam, Manipurakam, Anahatam, Vishuddhi, and Ajna. Mooladharam, Swadhishtanam, Manipurakam, Anahatam, Vishuddhi, and Ajna. These are the 6 chakras. And these are only mentioned in the Yoga Shastra. Okay, Patanjali Maharishi's Yoga Shastra alone talks about these chakras. So in Vedanta, really speaking, they do not even recommend this. Chakras, meditation, all that. because it is not necessary. What we want is moksha. For all that you need is only jnanam. You need to understand. You don't need these practices. These practices, only yogic practices, are only for a person who is interested in, have controlled his own breath, the sukshma, and in mind, and who wants to travel upwards, and wants to go to higher lokas, attain Kramamukti. But now Bhattacharya says in this 10th verse, Lingadeham api santyajan ataha liyate tvai pare niragraha. But the person who wants Satyamukti, who wants moksha at once, immediately, even a Saguna Brahma Upasakaha can attain Satyamukti. How? He says, Lingadehamapi Santyajannatho Liyate Tvai Pare Niragraha Urdhvaloka Kutukitu Murdhata Sardhameva Karanair Niriyate Lingadehamapi Santyajannatho Liyate Tvai Pare Niragraha Urdhvaloka Kutukitu Murdhata Sardhameva Karanair Niriyate. He gives a difference, he differentiates what does a person who is interested in Satyamukti do, what does the person who is interested in Kramamukti do. He tells here in this verse. Lingadehamapi Santyajannatho Liyate Tvai Pare Niragraha Urdhvaloka Kutukitu Murdhata Sardhameva Karanair Niriyate Lingadehamapi Santyajannatho Liyate Tvai Pare Niragraha Urdhvaloka Kutukitu Murdhata Sardhameva Karanair Niriyate. So Lingadeham api Santyajanne atha liyate tvai pare niragraha. So the person who wants Satyamukti, see the person who is given to the discipline of Saguna Brahma Upasanam, who is also successful, who becomes successful in his meditation practice, Samadhi practice, if he wants to attain Satyamukti, if he wants to attain Sayujya Mukti, become being one with Bhagavan. Okay, then he says, Linga Deham api Santyajan Ata Liyate Tvai Pare Niragraha. He lifts his, first what we saw in the previous verse, he has this power, yogic power enables him to lift his prana through the 6 chakras and through the Sushumna Nadi. He's able to lift his prana through Sushumna Nadi, which is going through these 6 chakras. Then what happens? He brings it where? He brings it to the, he brings it upwards to the forehead and he places it in between. He's able to retain his prana in between his eyebrows. It's not mentioned here. We have to connect it from other sources. He lifts the prana, fine. What does he do? He retaining the prana in between the eyebrows. Then he is not interested in any, the person is able to fulfill his wishes. He can attain anything. If a person is not interested in any other enjoyment of other pleasures or other things, then he can, one who is interested in Satyamukti, that person, Guruvarappa, it is possible for him to leave this Lingadeha, means Sukshma Shariram. So after having gone through the Sushumna Nadi through 6 chakras, having brought his prana to the forehead, retaining it in between the eyebrows, then it is possible for him to leave the Sukshma Shariram. It is only Bhattacharya says this very clearly. Okay? Linga Deham api Santyajanna, leaving his subtle body also, Guruvarappa, Tvayi Pare Liyate. Then he resolves in you. Why? Niragraha. Without having any other desire. Niragraha means the person who is not craving for anything else other than Satyamuktihi. Such a person then leaves his subtle body and resolves in Bhagavan. When he is able to resolve his Sukshma Shariram, it is not easy for ordinary person. See, we cannot give up our mind. See, Linga Deha Tyaga, let me make it very clear. Linga Deha Tyagaha means having one's subtle body resolved. Is it possible for us to resolve Linga Deha Tyaga? No. If it is possible, we all would have attained moksha long ago. My God, whenever problems came, the mind, come on, resolve this sukshma, go away. It's not that easy. That is why bondage, the whole samsara is because of our incapacity, because we are not capable of resolving our linga deha. Okay? We do not have any say over our linga deha because we are not created it. Linga deha means subtle body. Sukshma shariram is otherwise said to be linga deha. We have not created a subtle body. It is naturally there. It will be there. It will be there. There's no way of resolving subtle body at all. Subtle body will resolve by itself naturally only in the wake of the clear ascertained vision of Bhagavan Swarupam obtaining as our own Swarupam. Only when you claim, when the Ahankara is resolved in consciousness, no, only then Linga Deha will resolve. Until and unless a person has clear vision of Atma, there's no way of resolving the Linga Deha. That is why we repeatedly say Jnanam, 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 Jnanam. Why Jnanam? Only in clear vision of our own Swarupam, then our identity with Anatma completely goes, the Linga Deha resolves by itself. We don't need to push it, it will resolve by itself. Jnanam is the only means. But here in Yoga Shastra, Bhattacharya says, the person who's aspiring for such Sadhya Mukti and Jnanam, if he is given to the practice of Saguna Brahma Upasana, very intense practice and serious practice, and as a result of which he'll be successful in his Samadhi practice. And if he is successful in Samadhi also, he has that yogic the power. The Samadhi practice blesses a person with some yogic powers. And with that power, he has that strength. He is able to withdraw his sukshma and he can lift it through. The same thing is discussed in all Upanishads also. He is able to lift it through Sushumna Nadi, which is going through these chakras. Okay. And how far does he lift the prana, subtle body? He brings it to the forehead and he retains it in between the eyebrows. Only he is able, yoga vashyaihi anilam unnayati. Okay, he is able to lift his prana. Anilaha means prana here. Then what happens? After reaching there, it is possible for him to get any desire fulfilled. But niragrahi, the person has no interest in anything else. The person who does not have any craving for any other things, it is possible for him to leave the sukshma, what big achievement, leave the sukshma and remain one with Bhagavan. Guruvarappa, Tvayi Pare Liyate. He resolves in you the absolute self. What happens when the part breaks, just as part space joins the total space? There's no merger, isn't it? This person becomes one with you, which is the Sadhya Mukti. Only if a person is interested in Sadhya Mukti, even if a person is given to the practice of Saguna Brahma Upasanam, he has the capacity to resolve his sukshma by his own will, This is the Bhagavat Saguna Brahma Upasana Mahima. But not an easy joke, okay? It's not an easy joke. Bhattaji finishes in just 12 verses. It's not that easy, but at least we understand such a thing is possible, we know. Okay. So first line he says, talks about this Saguna Brahma, the person who wants this Sadhya Mukti. Otherwise, Urdhaloka Kutuki. Next line he talks about the Urdhaloka Kutuki. The person who practices this meditation, after anyway I'm attaining moksha, I can attain moksha here itself. Why should I attain here itself? Let me also have the fun of visiting higher loka. Then there I can attain the same mukti. Urdhaloka Kutuki. Kutuki means one who is enthusiastic, in going to higher loka, isn't it? Having worked very hard, now he has the power. He has earned this yogic power. See, attaining moksha is much, Jivan Mukti by Jnanam is easier than attaining these yogic powers. You know that? Accomplishment of yogic powers really involves a tremendous amount of strain, not an easy joke. So having earned the powers, it's exactly like the rich man who worked very hard, very, very hard to make a lot of money. He enjoys his money after some time, isn't it? Like this person also worked very hard, tremendous amount of effort he has put in to earn this yogi, to have his samadhi, be successful in his samadhi practice, that now he is blessed with this power. And with this power, he is able to lift his sukshma, the prana, through his chakras, and he is able to bring it to the forehead. He is able to treat it in between the eyebrows. Now he has a choice. So the some person who wants Sadhya Mukti, he resolves his sukshma, he becomes one with Bhagavan. Urdhaloka Kutiki, what does he do? The first line talks about the person who is interested in Mankshu Moksha Rasikaha, who is interested in attaining Sadhya Mukti. The next line he talks about the person who is interested in Kramena, who wants to attain Krama Mukti. Am I very fast? Okay. So, Kramena, he is a Urdhaloka Kutuki. The person who is interested in going to higher lokas, what does he do? Urdhaloka Kutuki to Murdhataha. Murdhataha, from his head. Murdhataha Sardhameva Karanehi Niriyate. Karanehi Sardhameva means along with his subtle body. Karanehi means along with his Sukshma Shariram. Karanani means his Antahkaranam and all subtle aspects. Karanehi means along with all subtle aspects. Mind, subtle powers. Okay? Karanehi Saha, along with his subtle powers, Niriyate, he goes out through the breaking open the Brahmarandram, Murdhataha, from his head. See, Bhattadi does not elaborate on all those things. See, Bhattadi is amazing, to give everything, bring very briefly. Can you believe I was so surprised yesterday when I completed in my WhatsApp class. I completed this Nrisimha Avatara. In 24 and 25, in 2 dashakams, he compressed, he has given the contents of the entire Saptama Skandha in 2 dashakams. Amazing. And he has not given up anything unwanted, anything important also. All important factors he brought in. Can you believe? I'm really amazed. Bhattaji's mastery, oh my God, the more I read, the more I adore, I just have no words. How is it possible for him to bring the important contents of Srimad Bhagavatam? The whole Saptama Skandha he was given in just 2 dashakams, 24 and 25. And he covered all stories. Prahlada Charitam, Hiranyakashipu's destruction, Bhagavan's Avataram. Beautiful. Similarly, he talks about yoga. Can you believe? In 2 lines he says, a Saguna Brahma Upasakaha, who is successful in his Samadhi experience, who has earned the yogic powers, he can attain Sadhyo Mukti, he can attain Karma Mukti also. The person who attains Sadhyo Mukti, what does he do? Because of his power, he is able to bring his Sukshma, prana, through the forehead. He is able to reach it in between the eyebrows. And there only the two people differ. What does the person who is interested in Sadhya Mukti do? He gives up his Sukshma, he becomes one with Paramat Bhagavan. Tvayi pare liyate. What does the Urdhaloka Kutuki do? Whereas other person who is interested in going to higher loka, Urdhaloka Kutuki to Murdhataha. He does not leave the Sukshma there. He holds on to Sukshma. Okay? Karanaihi Murdhataha. So breaking open the skull, breaking open the Brahmarandhram. No, the Brahmarandhram, I don't want to translate it into English. Breaking open the hole, okay, in the head, which is known as Brahmarandhram, and he travels through. Shastram Ved Upanishads, we talk about this Sukla Gatihi. He goes out in Uttarayana Punya Kala, breaking open the skull. He travels to Shukla Gatihi, bright path, or otherwise said to be solar path, and he goes to Brahmaloka, and there he attains Kama Muktihi. Urdhaloka Kutuki tu Murdhataha Niriyate. He does not say he goes to Brahmaloka, attains Moksha. He does not say all that. He only says Murdhataha. So from the head, breaking open the skull, there Brahmarandra is there. Through the Brahmarandra, he goes along with the Sukshma. See, you have to go along with the Sukshma. Travel needs subtle body. Atma does not travel. Consciousness does not travel. What travels? Only mind travels. The person who wants to go to Brahmaloka, not in the same physical body. See, travel does not mean that how we travel with this physical body. This is a subtle travel. Imperceptible, inexplicable subtle travel. How in your dream you travel. When you dream, you do travel or not? Sometimes now I do travel quite often. Because all them look for flights, then I do get sometimes some not very clear dreams, some vague dreams come, isn't it? As though standing at the airport, waiting for some flight, some announcement, all this, because all they were thinking of traveling, you dream, you get these dreams. That is a different. So in dream you travel, isn't it? But this travel is only sukshma. Please understand. Karanaihi niriyate. A person leaves the karanani, becomes one with Bhagavan, who wants Sadhya Mukti. The person, Urdhaloka Kutigi, the person who wants to go to higher loka, niriyate. He leaves the physical body through Brahmarandram, breaking open the skull, along with the Sukshma Shariram. Is it clear? Karanaihi niriyate means he leaves the physical body. Then what happens to him? That is not said. He goes to higher loka. There he attains Kama Muktihi. We'll see next class. Okay? Hope you enjoyed the class.
Yes, Amma.
Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
Thank you, Amma.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Gurupavana Pureshaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Krishnaya. Narayana 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 नारायण 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 आर्ताविषण्णा शिथिलाश्च भीताः घोरेषु च व्याधिषु वर्तमानाः संकीर्त्य नारायण शब्दमात्रं विमुक्तदुःखाः सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सर्वं ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु।